You don't have to be a starving artist. Do not give a care about Instagram or short form. My motto has always been that 80% done is better than perfect. You're trying to delay the moment where you might be judged. So it's more about this to me than like triggering an algorithm, because like the algorithm is just the audience. It's more about triggering the audience. This is where the most like high quality audience is. In my opinion, it is so much easier and faster to have someone that is where you want to be to just show you the way. My growth was like really slow and painful. You are just terrified that you are not quite there yet. I stopped chasing streams, and that might ruffle some feathers, but this is a big why as to how I was able to be successful in such a little amount of time. As soon as I started to release my songs on Spotify, I noticed that I wasn't making too much money from streams because, well, some companies do not pay you very well, and I don't think they are very respectful towards artists, so I very quickly understood that I was gonna have to find a new way or another way to monetize and get creative. So this is where I started to experiment with digital products, which helped me to leverage my time. Then after that, I started to work with top music brands. And after that, I started to offer my music services. Now, most art music purists would say that those are not monetizing your music because it's not directly coming from the music that you are making and releasing. But first of all, and second, it still is 100% related to your music skills or knowledge. And it is their problem if they want to stay a starving artist, because there is this kind of like cachet of being a starving artist. But this is not what I want for myself, nor for yourself. So you don't have to be a starving artist. Very important. There are other ways like these, and there are a ton more. When I talk about digital products, I'm talking about sample packs, vocal packs, mixing chains, templates, all that kind of stuff, ebooks even. Now, when it comes to music brands, you can work with them in a few different ways. You can do sponsored content if you have an audience, or you can just work with them through UGC, because music companies need, like, for example, guitarists to showcase their new guitars, and they need someone that is good at that and is pretty good at making a video as well. It's like they hire you as a media company. You could do that for themselves so that they can run ads on your videos, right? And it's not even on your social media platform. Or when you make music services, it's just you producing for someone else, doing mixing and mastering, audio engineering, vocal production, anything that relates to you doing a music service for someone else. So again, everything is still related to music in the end, but you just gotta open your mind to better way of monetizing your music skill or knowledge, because you don't have to be a starving artist. Once you understand that, this is when you can start to have a successful music business.
How can music artists make money in 2023? What are the different avenues besides just selling my beats? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, now these days, there's so many different avenues. And that's the thing, like now it's not just about, making it to the top class DJ and producers and touring and all. You can definitely make your music online. But yeah, you can sell your own digital products, like sample packs, preset packs, whatever, vocals, guitar loops. If you're a really good guitarist, then you can sell your services on Fiverr, Upwork, and stuff like this. Definitely affiliation and sponsorship. That's one that I'm doing, as being a content creator, about music. Mm-hmm. Or, I know, for example, yesterday I was in a coaching session and the guy wanted to release an album that it's gonna, like, all his content is gonna be about wearing this cyberpunk kind of like clothing. Mm-hmm. So to release and do all the promotion of his album, he's gonna reach out to that brand. So nice. You don't even have to be a content creator. If just as a music producer, if you have a project like this, you can reach out to a brand that makes sense for your album. And that's also a way that you can do it. As I said, coaching as well that you can do, if you're really good at sound design or really good at whatever, there's this. Obviously there's royalties still. Like I have a friend who does a lot of those like lo-fi chill beats. Yeah. But by a lot, I mean like he releases every week. And now he's able to go onto those big playlists and it compounds over time. And now he lives off of royalties, and he's absolutely like not known whatsoever. Yeah. He's just a kid making music in his bedroom releasing lo-fi beats and stuff like this like every week and living from that, which is amazing. I could not do this alone. And I think that's something that a lot of people do not understand, especially in the realm of social media, where everyone seems to have everything figured out, seems to have their shit together, whereas they don't. It's the same as you thinking that they achieved it all alone, but they probably didn't. I didn't. I had mentors for pretty much the whole time. Around 2022, a year and a half after starting this PLV music, I was starting to wonder, how could I monetize this and make this my full-time job? But most of the time, when I was working on something, I was always asking myself, am I losing my time doing this? Is it the right things that I'm focusing on? How should I do X? How should I do Y? All of those thoughts can lead you to doubt yourself, to procrastinate, to not even do anything because you don't know what to choose. This is very annoying. And I'm not a patient person, so I hired a mentor. In my opinion, it is so much easier and faster to have someone that is where you want to be to just show you the way. To me, it's just a peace of mind to know that I am not losing my time. So when it comes to finding mentors, I like to learn from someone that is where I want to be and that achieved it in a way that you want to achieve it. So for example, if you want to grow on Spotify, but you don't want to pay for ads, then don't go listen to someone that is teaching you how to grow on Spotify through paid ads. It wouldn't make any sense, right? Now, the truth, to be honest, is that mentorship saved me years. Obviously, we can figure it out on our own with just time, trial and errors, experience, all of that. But am I impatient? Totally. I am totally impatient. So it depends on who you are and what you want. But I invested in mentors because I just thought it made more sense to me. You need to create your first offer. Paid offer, obviously. So basically, it's time to monetize. And my best advice for you is that the easiest and fastest way to monetize when you're starting is to offer your services. Why? Because it requires almost no setup, no upfront work at all. For example, you could just put a Gmail account, like your email account in the bio with a call to action. You can use a Google form. You can use third-party platforms like Calendly to book calls or book sessions, book services, whatever you want. Once again, the idea is just to make it easy for yourself. So from there, obviously, you have whatever people would use to contact you and book you. Now you're gonna need to promote it. Like if you don't say it to people, people won't know they can book you for whatever service you offer. If it is ghost production, mixing and mastering, guitar recording, drums, whatever, vocals. You need to tell people that you have it. And you can do this with CTAs, which is call to actions in your videos or in the descriptions, bios and stuff like this, descriptions of your videos or captions of your posts. You can also have it in your bio. Really, just saying it, like hire me for this, hire me for that. You can also put like stories or highlights as well on Instagram. Links in descriptions on YouTube with a sentence that also says, book this, book that, hire me for this. Just be vocal about it. Don't worry, people are used to it. They won't complain. No one ever complained to me that I promote too much. And it's just awkward at the beginning. But once again, if you don't tell people, they won't know. And it's not because you say it twice that the person is going to see it twice. Every time you post or do something online, it's only like 20% of your audience that's going to see it. And every time it's a different 20%. Obviously, you have your core audience that are going to see everything. But at this point, if they love you, they won't mind it. In his book, .com Secrets, Russell Brunson explains the concept of a value ladder. The idea is simple. Every business should have offerings at different price tiers with value increasing alongside the price. The more your customers pay, the more value they should receive. Unfortunately, when I started, I focused mainly on low-ticket product offers such as ebooks, templates, and Patreon subscriptions, all under $50. Let's say that your goal is to make $2,000 to pay your bills. With a $50 product or service, you would need to sell 40 units. But with a $500 service like ghost production, coaching, mixing and mastering, you only need 4 clients. With a target of 4 monthly clients, you don't need a massive audience. That's where this approach helps you to monetize much faster. I struggled with monetization in my first couple of years, but once I shifted to my mid to high ticket offers, reaching a full-time income became much easier. If your goal, and that's probably going to be your goal, is to attract clients, customers, or students, you need to know who they are and what they want so that you know how to talk to them and what to do to attract them. So for example, who would be interested in your music offer? The more you know about them, the better, because the more you'll know how to talk to them, what content to make for them, what they want to see online. And that's the whole point. How old they are? Do they have a full-time job, or are they studying? What are their dreams or goals? Also, what are their fears, their problem? For example, if I take my target audience, the fear of my audience would probably be to be stuck forever at a 9-to-5 they're not passionate about and never be able to make a living from their passion. That could be one of their fears. So as I said before, the more you know, the better, because the more you'll be able to know the language. But don't get stuck over it as an excuse to not get started. This is something that will come over time. I noticed how important it was, for example, when I was doing a video that was about how to find time to make music. And I wanted to put in parentheses, even with school. And at the beginning, I noticed that I was attracting a lot of students. But because I also wanted to attract clients and customers, I noticed that students don't particularly have a lot of money to spend on a hobby or things like that. So this is where I was like, this is not my target audience. My target audience are probably, young adults that just started their 9-to-5 or, have a few years there, 24, 34 years old, and that have a full-time job, which allows them to have money. So knowing this about my audience allowed me to change the language of the title from, even with school to even with a full-time job. This way, I was able to attract a better audience for myself. I still remember to this day the very moment where I first got the idea of the PLV Music YouTube channel. I was driving in the car to the soccer practice at the end of 2020, I think around September, October. I had just read a book from Gary V, Crush It, I think, and in this he said, document, don't create. At this point in my life, I was ready to pursue another hobby, pursue something a bit more. And so in the car, as I knew that I was about to learn more music and music production and releasing my songs on Spotify, I thought, why not document this through a YouTube channel? I had everything figured out. I was going to do one song per month for 12 months for like a year of album. I had a whole idea. So I got home, I told my boyfriend at the time, my fiance, about the idea. I told him, yeah, I want to do this with the YouTube channel and document all this. But you know what? At this time we were living in my in-laws, so I didn't have the studio. I couldn't record without people listening to me. I didn't have the right gear. I didn't have a camera. I didn't have lights. I had so many excuses. But instantly he turned it down. He said, no, you're starting now. Here's my camera that is just taking dust on a shelf. Just start. So basically he destroyed all my excuses. So I was like, all right, I'm going to start. I'm starting. And so this is the day I stopped overthinking. Don't wait to get started. Most people spend days, months, years over planning in their heads until they have the perfect idea, the perfect gear, the perfect lighting, the perfect presence. All of this is just limiting beliefs that are going to delay you and your success for years. So looking back, starting before I was ready was my biggest advantage. Because while everyone was overthinking, over planning, I was getting better day after day after day, and I was getting momentum. If you go back to my very first videos on YouTube, you'll see how crappy they were. They were not how it is today, but every single video I got better. I wasn't born knowing how to talk to a camera. Man, if you put me in front of 40,000 people on an actual theater or whatever stage, I would freeze, okay? I would freeze. And a camera to me is easier, but I was still very afraid about it. In my first month, I was waiting for my in-laws, my fiance to get off the house, to get out, so that I can record while they were not there. That's how scared I was. Yet I still did it. And another thing that I did, obviously they knew what I was doing because we were living together. But if you're shy, just do it like me. Don't tell anyone around you. You don't need to announce to your friends and your family that you're starting this new project or this new hobby. Just do it on your own. Create a new profile, put a new profile picture, new name, like me. Honestly, except them and my parents, no one knew about it. It was 6 months, a year until my best friends, my family learned about it. So don't tell anyone, just do your own thing, but get started.
I want to talk about let's call it the elephant in the room, right? You've mentioned a lot of times you're full-time. People are like, oh, there's money in the music industry. That's one of the biggest questions in the music industry. So you've mentioned congratulations on being full-time. Last time you and I talked, you still weren't full-time, and you were talking you
that
were
was
telling
that
me
long ago we talked?
Yeah, like a year-ish ago, and you were like saying like
I thought it was.
you were saying like I really think I could make it happen, but I'm not sure. So I want you to first of all talk to us through your story, whatever you're comfortable sharing, and then we can get into some different ways that people could learn from you to make money.
I've been doing this thing for 2 years before being full-time. Right now I'm full-time since this year, 2023. End of January, I quit my job. But before that, I've created all this for 2 years on the side of my job. So that's the one thing I want to mention. Like, I didn't go straight in. I built all this asset and all this pool of videos, audience, all that before going full-time. And yeah, it's just during those 2 years, I always had in mind the idea of, eventually I want it to be my full-time job. I want to make music. I want to be a full-time music producer / content creator. I knew how I wanted to make my money in some ways. But then when you start, sometimes either you don't know how you want to monetize, or you think but when you try it, you're like, maybe it's not for me. So then you stop doing it, right? Like, for example, I know like last year I started, I think a few people asked me for mixing and mastering services or ghost production, and I tried it and I was like, I'm not liking that. I didn't like the fact of being restricted creatively to what that person wants to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to do music for me, not for other people at the moment at all. I don't know if it'll change, but so yeah, try different things over time, and over time defined what I liked to do and how I wanted to make my money. And then when this 1 million view video happened, I started to make way more sales for like digital products that I had, which are ebooks that talk about learning music production on your own, on the side of a job, all that. And I started to have more coaching clients as well for, students for consultation, music production, or social media growth or business. Plus, I just started to get monetized by YouTube at that point. I was starting to get some sponsorships requirements as well. And so all these at the time where I was maxed out on time and I was physically going to burn out on the side of my job, I was like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I was like, one of them has to go. And I didn't want it to be YouTube and music. So, because I was already making like 50% of the income I needed to live, and to cover my bills, I was like, if I can make 50% on my own while being part-time, if I go full-time, I can probably double or triple that, right? So basically, like, I have a whole Notion page that is like, who are they? What's their story? What do they like? What are they passionate about? What are their goals, dreams, and desires? What are their deepest fears? What are their struggles? And I have like paragraphs on this. And I fed this into ChatGPT or Midjourney. And I said, like, create a picture for that person. Yeah. And then from that, I'm like, what is the videos that could attract this person and repel the rest? And that's where I get all my video ideas. And I'm like, if I think about a video and I'm like, okay, would Kevin be interested in this video? If it's a yes, then I do it. If it's a no, then I don't do it. But yeah, it's like
the exact same thing.
It's usually something like a part that my students struggle with the most. But when they do, when we do work on it and they do get it, that's where it unlocks the whole thing. So once you start building your audience, you need to pave the way for monetization. And it starts by building your email list. The audience that you build on social media is called rented, because at any moment, at any point, the social media platform can close, they can ban your account, they can terminate your account without you having anything to say. So you need to own your audience, and you do that through email. So in order to get people's email addresses, you need to offer them something for free in exchange of their email. And this is what we call a lead magnet, like my 7 steps to produce a track from scratch email course. So when thinking about your lead magnet, it should be something that you can build in 1 to 2 days, that you can give away for free, that is valuable for your audience, and that is related to what you will offer for a fee. So for example, let's say that you want to offer a big sample pack as a free version. I would just do a smaller version of a sample pack. If you would sell an online course to make a tech house track, maybe just give away the first chapter of the first module.
What's your advice for producers to get past that and to make social media a little bit more authentic, a little bit easier for them?
I think at first I'd say, like, don't try to like aim, for like what they say, like post once a day or whatever. Like, just do it like to enjoy it. like make the videos that you want to make, make it you. Because this way, if you make it enjoyable for you, then you'll probably want to do more and you'll get into the habit of doing content. Yeah, also, I think right now, social media is so important for producers. Like, that's how Jake got discovered, for example. Like, that's how artists get discovered every day. So, but yeah, I think just go about it chill at first, make it enjoyable for you. And yeah.
You're not so chill about it now.
No.
So, what challenges are you facing with the amount of content that you're creating at the moment?
Right now, it's definitely to keep up, because it gets really tiring at some point, posting every couple days, a newsletter on Tuesday, YouTube community post here and there, YouTube video on Sunday. Like, it's so much that sometimes I'm really getting tired, and I do feel the need of like stepping out from social media here and there. There's always like right now, last month I took like a 2 weeks mini vacation, which really helped, and now I'm really I'm ready for it again. Right. So it just comes and goes. Like, it is hard. It's just like a roller coaster, ups and downs, and ride it.
There was a book that I recently, I haven't finished it yet, I'll be honest, but it's really interesting. It's called the EMyth. And in this book, I don't know the author's name off the top of my head, but he explains that every entrepreneur, it's the entrepreneur myth, the EMyth. And he's explaining that every entrepreneur is actually 3 people in one. And this is the reason why most entrepreneurs fail, because you're the entrepreneur, which is the one that has the big ideas and wants to, plan out the next phase. You're the manager, who has to manage the day to day and has to also make sure all the tasks gets done. And you're the technician, which is the one who actually does the work. So the one who produces the music, who sits there on the calls, etc. And he's explaining that all 3 types of, manager, entrepreneur, and technician all need different things, but a lot of times we don't give ourselves the room or the resources to be able to be in all 3 areas. So you have to look at which one is like your strength. Like, are you more the big idea person? Are you more the one who just wants to sit down and get the work done? Or are you more the one who wants to manage and delegate? And if you can figure out which one of those 3 that you are, then you can start to outsource the other 2, and it can make it easier for you to be able to get things done. So I thought that was really mind-opening for me.
Yeah, no, it's genius. It's absolutely where I am struggling right now, and more and more and more I realize that I really need to start delegating all the editing, like literally all the editing. And it did take me some time. Like, I know last year it was like here and there, and it did take us some time to get the workflow of working with an editor put in place. Now I know that I can send the video and I almost have to say nothing. It's all good. I just need feedback, give feedback every day, here and there. But it did take us like a year to really get into the routine, and I tried probably like a few different editors until I found the one I really needed that understood what I wanted. So yeah, it was a struggle, and I'm still struggling with it, but I'm working towards it for sure.
One thing that I've noticed in this industry is that most of you struggle with the idea of perfectionism, procrastination, all of that. But the problem is, if you are trying to always aim for perfection, which is impossible to get, it just leads to inaction. Because you never finish that song, you never release that video, you never reach out to this person, you never send that email, because you're just overthinking about how to make it better, how to make it perfect. But my motto has always been that 80% done is better than perfect. And that's all I'm trying to aim for every single time. There's lots of my songs in the past, like in my first year or 2, that I was putting out that I knew were not perfect. I was still getting feedback from people, but I didn't care because it was a little bit better than the song that I have previously released. So as long as it was better, I didn't care. I was releasing it, moving on to the next one. Same with the videos. As long as it was 1% better than the previous one I made, I was doing good. And that carried over 4 years, gave me the results that I have today. Basically, everything I did in my journey was an MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product. So everything I was doing was just the minimum thing I had to do to put a decent product, video, music out. And then over time, I iterated on it. My videos get better over time, my songs get better over time, my products get better over time, my speaking has been better over time. It's not perfect still, as you can see, but still working on it. But everything I did, I was not waiting for it to be perfect. For example, I would have never released my first songs. I would have never released my course, right? The first time I did my course was just a 2 hours masterclass. Now it's a 6 hours pre-recorded course with a community, live events, all that stuff. But not the first time that I released it. I released it, got feedback from some people, iterated, released another version, etc., etc. Same thing for the videos, same thing for the song. Iteration over perfection. And to be honest, it's the same thing with this very video. It's like the second time that I do a video where I use my iPad. It took me like 5 hours to make those slides because I was overthinking it. But today I'm actually filming it. I have no idea if what I'm saying is going to be great on camera or not because it's just bullet points. Whereas before I was scripting all my videos words by words, but I'm just putting something out. And then as I will do them more, I will get better at them. That's it. Iteration over perfection. Momentum comes from doing, not planning. That's how you get momentum. You are hiding behind perfectionism to avoid rejection. You say things like, I'm not ready yet. I'll start in X amount of time. I still need to learn X to do Y. But let's be really honest with each other for a second. This is not perfectionism. This is protection. You're not waiting to be ready. You're trying to delay the moment where you might be judged. You're scared that if you show up as you are, people will ignore it. Or even worse, they won't even like you and they won't care. So you keep tweaking, rewriting, re-recording, telling yourself that it's just not quite there yet. But underneath it all, you are just terrified that you are not quite there yet. Let's say you feel awkward on camera. Guess what? Every single person that you look up to on social media started feeling the same as you. No one was born charismatic knowing how to talk to an object. We all practiced publicly. If you don't believe me, go back to my YouTube channel first videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. What you have to remember is that every time you delay, you are not protecting your art, you are burying it. Perfectionism isn't serving your creativity, it is suffocating it. Now I'm at a point where I want to reduce the quantity to have more quality because there's more expectations with more attention and all this. But at the beginning, all I cared about is being 1% better, like to focus on one thing, one new thing, each video or each song, you know? And that's still what I do with the songs. Like as long as it sounds 1% better than the last one I made, I'm happy with it. And so, yeah, my videos were the same, you know, like, the next one that I was doing, I was like, all right, let's learn about lighting, right? Or the camera settings to have a better lighting because it looked bad and I didn't like it. Or let's learn about how to treat the microphone voice, right? So that it sounds better. Each video, I was just focusing on one thing, maybe the hook, maybe the scripting, maybe the editing. Like I was learning a new editing trick for the intro or whatever, like just 1% better every single time.
How often should you post on YouTube or social media? And like maybe what are some ways you can like figure out how to get started and what types of content to make and all that?
Yeah, I mean, usually first of all is like if I would have to start again, I would focus only on YouTube. Do not give a care about Instagram or short form. I would start only on YouTube because to me, YouTube is where I get most like return on investment. In terms of like, this is where the most like high quality audience is because it's an audience that is ready to spend some time with you, and to spend some like money. Like it's just more of a serious audience than short form. So they're more willing to work with you, in whatever ways that you offer with them, you know? So to me, YouTube has more return on investment. It's more serious. And you can monetize like faster in terms of like not like AdSense, but you don't need a lot of views or anything. Like videos are evergreen on YouTube. So you could get clients this way, like with a small audience. Like I know some creators that have like 2,000, like less than 5,000 subscribers, and they are full-time doing this. You know, because they get enough clients, they have the right offers and things like that. But yeah, so I would definitely focus on YouTube, and definitely push myself to start, with once a week. Cause like at the beginning, I do think it's very important. After that, once you have your core audience that is built, you can be a bit more flex. But at the beginning, like, you know, at the beginning, I started with like once every 2 weeks. And for 2 years, my growth was like really, really slow and painful. And as soon as I started once a week, that's where it took off.
Do you think that was due to any like magic in the YouTube algorithm that's like, oh, she's posting once a week, therefore this is a serious channel?
No,
Or do you
to me
think it
that's
was
not
that-
about this. To me that's about the trust that you build with the audience, meaning that when someone first see your video on YouTube, let's say they give you a chance, they click, they watch one video. If then you don't post for another month, the next time you post, they already found like 10 other YouTubers that are their new favorite YouTubers. And so they already forgot about you. They don't even remember your video. So like, to me, it's just consistency in showing up in their feed so that they remember you. And then the more you pop in their feed, the more they'll be like, oh, I should really like check out this person's video. So it's more about this to me than like triggering an algorithm. Cause like the algorithm is just the audience. So it's more about triggering the audience and really like popping in their mind. It's the same thing as releasing singles every 4 to 6 weeks on Spotify and not every 2 or 3 months. It's the same thing, same concept. But once you start posting consistently, you're going to start to receive some questions, some DMs, some comments, and you're going to start to notice some recurring questions. As they start to trust you more, they will start to come to you for discussions, advice, opinions, tips, whatever. This is where you should take notes of everything that is recurring. This is what I call learning the lyrics. Here's why it's going to be super important. For example, I noticed that the self-taught music producers were struggling a lot to learn on their own at home with YouTube. They didn't know where to start, there was too many video choices, and they didn't know who to trust. So I started creating more content about it. But the actual reason that you need to pay attention to the lyrics of your audience is to be able to create your first paid offer.
Can we be honest for a second and admit that you are not just scared of posting videos? You are scared of what it means to be posting videos on social media as an artist. You don't want to be seen as just another influencer. You don't want to feel like you're selling out. And you don't want your art to be reduced to trends and algorithms, right? So you tell yourself, I'm not ready, I don't have the right gear, I don't want to be cringy, I don't want to be an influencer, that's not for me. But let's flip that. What if the real problem isn't content, but it's the fear of compromising your identity? Content creation can feel like it's chipping away at who you are, like sharing your work online somehow cheapens it. But here's the truth. Avoiding content isn't protecting your art, it's protecting your ego. Your music stays hidden, your audience never finds you. You think being invisible protects your authenticity, but it just buries it.